wanna show you, and I wanna hold you, till the end of the world I would go to, just to reach you, cause you're worth it. All my love you deserve.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Light Skin Perspective. I think we're on episode 20 now, Mr. Mo Green.
Number 20. Never thought we would make it, but we made it, man.
We should be at like 50-something, but you know, we took a break. It's all right.
We took a little break. We back, though. We back.
I'm your host, Kenan J. Floyd. You can follow me on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok at Kenan J. Floyd, Kenan J to the Floyd as in pink. And here's my co-host,
Comedian Mo Green. You can find me on IG at Comedian Mo Green and Facebook at Comedian Mo Green. All those other like TikTok and all that, the names are too jumbled. I can't remember any of that right now.
And make sure you guys like, share, and subscribe this episode.
That's right.
And this channel so that you can know when we put more stuff up.
And when you subscribe, make sure you click the bell button so that you'll get our videos first once the notification drops.
Hell yeah.
Pow.
We're getting better at this, I think.
A little. You know what I'm saying? A little like you see the lighting is better this week and everything. You got on it. You got to you look like some creature from outer space that just materializes. I need
to wear lighter clothes.
Yeah, you definitely looks like some type of alien from what's the planet they found beyond Pluto? You're from planet X.
From planet Big.
You're like Schmieberborg. You're like oh man.
I have to admit, I have a elongated forehead, but it's okay.
Yo, you got the elongated forehead. You got the big ass collar. I don't know what the hell are you wearing a cloak?
It's a hoodie.
Oh, okay, okay, I can see it. No, but in the dark, it looks like you like one of those big wizard kind. You still look like a wizard.
Like I'm a part of Skull and Bones. Oh.
Like before, you look like an upper ranking wizard because you didn't have the hood. You just had the collar. But now you look like a lowly wizard that lives in the forest and shit.
Do it. You and I can rule the galaxy together. Okay.
Yeah, you could definitely be an extra in Willow. Huh?
I never saw Willow.
You never saw Willow? Man, that's the precursor to Lord of the Rings and all that. It's not the precursor, but that was the fantasy movie, in the 80s, dude. And actually before that, predated, was a Labyrinth. That's the furthest I can go back. But Willow, that was the first one, man. The first big one.
Roburts was with David Bowie in it, right?
Mm-hmm. All those movies came out within that time frame. Talking early 80s, late 70s, early 80s, man.
Yeah.
And you definitely look like. Well, actually, Willow came out in 1987. I don't know how I know this information, but I could see it in my head clear as day.
Nerd. That's why.
Yeah, that's what it is. I don't like to call it a nerd. I just like to call it a fat dude that like video games.
Oh, man. Well, we're going to continue our streak that we did last week. This week, we're talking about an interesting topic called code switching.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Do you know what code switching is?
From what I heard, and this is a relatively new term for me personally. I think it's something that most people do in one way or shape or fashion, but I heard it's when somebody is acting in a cliche way with another group, thinking that that's what they have to do in order for them to be understood. That's maybe a complicated way of explaining it.
Yeah, I just heard about this year. Basically,
yeah,
a lot of people feel that to assimilate in certain environments, they need to act a certain way to be accepted. Which, to be honest with you, I think is just complete bullshit. But I don't know.
I mean, in certain situations, though, you have to act a certain way. You know what I mean? Like the way you talk to your girl before you make love to her is not the same way you would talk to ordering some food at Wendy's. You know what I mean? So we talk. Imagine you at Wendy's. I like the number 5 with the sauces.
And imagine you're talking to your I'll have some extra sauce, please.
Yeah. Like, bitch, can you hurry up? Like, I gotta go. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Some extra bacon added to that.
so when they say code switching, I think it's specifically, and it's a black to white thing. Like, it's mainly, but black folk, we the ones that make up a lot of these like silly ass phrases or whatever. But and we make stuff popular and people steal it. But anyway, it's the black person that basically has to act like another culture because he feel like that's what that person has to do in order to be accepted and respected in that situation. But on the flip side, it's other groups that aren't black, white, let's just say white folks, but they thinking they around Jamal saying, hey, what's going on? What it do? What it do, player? And they give you like a left-handed fist, which is like ultimate disrespect in the black community. That's what they do. You know, or you the man, brother. Like you have like a boardroom meeting, you freaking knock out the presentation, and then he just give you the left hand dap. You the man, brother. You know?
Right on.
Yeah. He's using 30-year-old slang.
Like, what the fuck? He's like, right on.
So that's my definition. I've already talked a lot, but that's what I was taught code switching was.
Yeah, I mean, every time I talk to another black person, they're always like, you have to code switch. You have to code switch. And I'm like, I don't think I do. But I could be wrong.
I don't think that's like an instructions an adult black person will give it to another black person. It should just automatically be understood. Like if you have to tell somebody that, come on now.
This is my question. Is it code switching or is it having manners?
I think it's just adaptation. Just adapting to the situation, man. Like as a human, as a freaking creature, you want to be able to communicate. And you also want to be understood. So if you have to read the crowd accordingly, you know. True.
Well, we have two guests that's going to be joining us for this conversation. I'm going to bring them in now.
Video for Ludacris's single.
We have two that are going to be joining us.
Who? What?
Nothing. You guys are on the podcast now.
Oh, we're on now. All right now.
Early in there.
We got Brooklyn Jones, who's a comedian from New York, who's based here in Los Angeles. What are some of your credits, Brooklyn?
Most known from Flex and Shanice show on Oprah Winfrey Network, Laugh Mob, Laugh Tracks, True TV, Comedy Underground series on UMC.
Nice. How many people here have the Oprah Winfrey Network?
I don't even have the Oprah Winfrey Network. I can't even watch my own show.
I said, does Brick TV count?
If Oprah Winfrey Network counts, then yes, Brick TV counts, definitely. Respect to you both. We also have Von Roburts, comedian from South Central Los Angeles. What are some of your credits, Von?
Bro, I don't need. You know what? For that reason, I don't even be keeping up with them, bro. I just leave them in the past, bro. Because people, if I mention them, people would be like, "What was that again?" It wouldn't even matter. So I just be like, "Vaughn."
He has a Instagram. That's his credit.
That's important these days.
I do have. But that's all from the little shit that I've done in the past. Like, you know, I've been on TV and movies before. We could leave it at that.
All right.
If they recognize me,
Wait, did you have your same hair in the movies and TV?
No, I didn't. I actually had what Brooklyn remembered me for. It was I had a taper fade and a beard. My beard was big.
Yeah, the big beard and the fade. I didn't recognize him at first when he popped up on the screen until I saw his name. I was like, oh, that's Vaughn.
You never trust a big beard with a fade.
So Vaughn, so Vaughn was getting his house party on, his kid and play on back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know.
I was like one of the first with the beard over here.
I don't have hair on my head, so I'm jealous as fuck. That's basically the truth.
You shit.
Would you get one of those things the guys are getting where they're like gluing hair on their head and then shaving it into a fade?
Lace front. They got the lace fronts for the dudes.
Yeah, they got the lace fronts for dudes. Would you do that?
Oh,
Them joints look real though.
I'm gonna know they're fake. I can't live a life like that. That's
and plus if like they've known you for being bald for a long time,
True.
then all of a sudden you coming out like Lucius Lyon, they go like, come on, man.
What? I don't trust them because I feel like they're gonna peel up when you least expect it. You're gonna be in the club dancing or something. That shit gonna be peeling. You ain't even gonna know.
Yeah.
You're gonna be intimate with it. Can you imagine you stay over your girl's house and you wake up and your hair is in the pillow
Or on the floor.
or on the floor? That's bullshit. She be.
You know what I feel? You know how I feel about it? I feel like it's racist because it took this long for the black man toupee to come out.
Yeah.
Nah, Steve Harvey had
remember
one.
white dudes always
When he was on Showtime at the Apollo, that nigga had a high top fade toupee or whatever. I didn't know. I thought it was real until a friend of mine, he was a delivery person for cleaners, and he brought Steve Harvey his suit to his hotel, and Steve opened the door and he was bald. He was like, yo, you know Steve Harvey don't have no hair? That's a weave or a wig or something on the Apollo. I did not know that.
Hey, but at least it blended good.
It did blend.
Some of the alien hairstyles that the people of the female ilk do. when guys do it, for the most part, it blends in. Unless you Takashi.
Some of those weaves do look heavy. I will say that.
Yeah.
I had a weave once in my life, and I don't even know why I had a weave because I have a lot of hair. I guess I just didn't feel like dealing with it, but it was a nightmare. I commend all women who can wear weaves because it literally feels like your head is in jail. I had a panic attack because you can't touch your scalp. Like if it itch, you can't scratch it. That's why you see girls patting it like this. Mm-hmm. But that doesn't really work. I need to scratch. I never again.
Scratch it unless you can scratch it if you got a sew in.
I couldn't scratch mine. I couldn't scratch it good. Like you got to dig underneath. Ain't nobody got time for that.
The weave is the weave is the ultimate code switch.
You gotta. I just think girls who can wear weaves are strong people because I freaked out when I had mine. I felt claustrophobic.
He went for it. He said the weave is the ultimate code switch. Whoa.
The weave.
You know what? That's
depending on the type of weed though. You know.
Yeah.
Like
I guess
if it
straight
looks,
blonde weave.
Yeah, exactly. If it matches you and you can't really tell, think they mix or something, that's fine.
I mean, and you good and well know that you don't have no bleach blonde hair, and they be going for those bleach blonde weaves.
They about Yahan because in this African tribe off the coast of Australia, these Aborigines had blonde hair and blue eyes. I was like, yeah, but it was napping. It was like sandy blonde. It wasn't looking like Marilyn Monroe.
And they had freckles. Stop. Where are your freckles at?
Exactly.
Anyway, y'all. So Mo and I were talking about code switching. Do you guys know what code switching is, or how would you define code switching?
I define code switching as when you get in a certain environment, you kind of soften up. Like how I used to do. I'm from the corporate world. Like I've worked at a lot of corporate offices, and I felt like when I went to interviews or worked in an office with predominantly white people, that I was compelled to speak English more properly than I would around my homies. So I feel like that's what code switching is for me.
Vaughn?
I feel like code switching is basically when you're trying to appease another genre of people, another demographic, and you start talking and appropriating certain ways of certain speech patterns in order to assimilate to your surroundings, whatever that may be at the moment.
But this is my question. Is it code switching or is it having good manners?
Well,
depending on the circumstance.
Yeah.
Well, when it depends on what It depends on what is being said, because you can say certain things that are more acceptable than others. In a professional environment, certain things can be said in a professional environment that you can't that wouldn't be accepted in there are certain things you can say in a professional environment, and then there's certain other things that you can't say that would be deemed inappropriate for that environment. So it depends on what you're talking about. You know what I mean? Depends on what is being said and how it's being said. It's all in. It's a lot of different anomalies. It's tone. It's timing. It's in what context. You know.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
But I firmly believe, like we already talked about, that mainly code switching happens in the lower classes of people. Like when you're at the lower financial end, you tend to be at a more aggressive environment, so you tend to adopt a aggressive way of talking in a different vernacular. And then people at a higher class, they become attracted to that, and they start adopting it as well, and it becomes street hip hop, all these other things that we know now today.
Well, I think if there's an example we can look at, you guys have seen the show Insecure, correct?
Yes.
Do you remember that storyline when that was the woman from South Central? Well, okay.
You're talking about Yvonne Orji when she dated the Asians.
So no, Yvonne,
the intern, right?
Yvonne's Orji character worked at a white law firm, and they had another black intern that came in, and I think she was specifically from like South Central or someplace like that, right? And there was a way that she spoke. Mm-hmm. Yvonne felt that wasn't appropriate for the audience, right? But for the environment, but all the white people were like, "Oh, you're a hip girl, yeah." Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like they really tried to like accept her for who she was. So the girl didn't feel like that she needed to assimilate to the culture.
But then Molly felt like the girl was setting her back.
Yeah,
by speaking like that.
You're making both of us look bad because, and the girl's like, "Well, I'm being myself, and if you can't accept who I am, I don't want to deal with you or like whatever, right?" So when it's like a circumstance like that, is that another Bill Cosby pound cake speech? Or is that, in these circumstances, we need to kind of hold back a little bit if we want to move ahead? What's really the difference between code switching and having good manners?
I think that it is important to conduct yourself in a certain way in the office. You can't be in the office just talking like you talking with your homies and popping your tongue and just, you know what I mean? I mean, to an extent, I guess, like once you've been in the office and the people get to know you, you can show a little bit more of yourself. But if you want to, I feel like if you want to be respected, you do have to code switch a little bit in a professional environment.
Yeah, I suppose. What about you, Mo? You got something to say?
As far as code switching, man, it's about an adaptation. It's about like communicators. It's not only about speaking, but it's about you understanding that you're being heard. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes if you have to, they ain't gonna be talk there. And sometimes if you have to switch some words up or some type of jargon or whatever in order to like be able to effectively communicate with somebody, that's fine. But like when you take it overboard and you think this is what I have to do to impress them, that's when it's an issue. But just for the sake of just communicating with somebody, you know what I mean? Like sometimes when I get around, I used to work around a lot of Jamaicans, I would tend to talk in their accent a little bit more. I started learning like some of their customs. And it wasn't like I was being funny or whatever. That's just the way it came out. And then sometimes around this groups over here, they act a little bit like this. So I want to communicate more effectively. I switch it up to their stuff. It's just like as a comedian, we all comedians. So when you're on stage, you have to assess the situation that's in front of you, whether it's hecklers, how much time you got. Like, there's a whole bunch of different things that you're analyzing. and you're switching up in order to be an effective communicator to the audience. That's for your comedy. Why can't that same thing apply to people, individually?
Yeah. I feel like whatever situation you're in, you're going to adjust to your surroundings a little bit.
Yeah.
You're always gonna adjust.
I never felt like I needed to code switch.
You're already there.
He was born to switch code.
Word.
But that's the thing. When I actually sat down and actually thought about it, the context of the way I talk is I grew up Jehovah's Witness, right? I grew up Jehovah's Witness, and Jehovah's Witnesses are the ultimate code switchers. They're very much into the way you appear to others is how they're going to judge you. So therefore, you need to assimilate to what looks like a God-fearing Christian. That's basically what Jehovah's Witnesses do. And that's why a lot of the rules are you can't be seen by yourself with a woman or someone of the opposite sex. Because it's not necessarily about what you're doing, but it's that it looks like you might be up to no good. You know what I mean? You shouldn't use curse words or anything like that because it sounds like you're a worldly person. You know what I mean? And then a program that they had in the church called the Theocratic Ministry School. And what that is, it specifically teaches you how to talk. It's like a spiritual etiquette school. You give talks, you read Bible verses in front of everybody, and and they grade you on how you present yourself. They grade you on your public speaking, and they grade you on your diction.
Yep.
So they
sure do.
So they specifically say this is how you're supposed to talk, speak, and act as a public speaker in the church, right? Mm-hmm. So coming from that, it's basically it's a forced code switch, so much so that when you come out of it, you're like, oh well, this is just how I talk.
Wow.
So it's not really so it's the ultimate code switch. And the thing is, I was born in the South. I was born in Mobile, Alabama. You know, so I don't have an accent, and it's
Is that why?
Well, that's one of the reasons, and also my parents, we moved to Pennsylvania when I was 7 to the suburbs, and we were the only black family in that town, right? So when I say I don't necessarily have to code switch, my environment pulled off the ultimate code switch because that's just the way I raised. I was raised in such a way that I have no choice but to talk this way.
Mm-hmm. I feel like if I talk to you on the phone, I might not be able to tell that you're a black man. When people talk to me on the phone, they know I'm a black lady.
I mean, I've rocked on interviews.
Yeah.
I'm shocked when I show up.
It's just
they're like, shit.
The thing that makes it is because you have a sultry voice, so like usually the more masculine, it's a little more heavier. So that's why they think that. But it's a difference between like talking like this or like the way Kenan is like it's all That's all. It's just a little bass.
I feel like the news reporters are the kings and queens of code switchers because they have to speak in a way that's not regional. Have you ever seen those videos on Instagram and TikTok of the black news reporters who talk to each other like news reporters and then they switch it up and talk like themselves? That shit is so dope, but it's so funny because it's like they're talking like news reporters talking about what they want to eat tonight. But I can't do it because I didn't go to school for that. Like they learn how to talk like news reporters.
I think we're gonna get some maybe fried chicken or later on or something like that.
Yeah, that's how they talk. That sounds
maybe,
accurate.
You know
and
what?
We're gonna have chicken tonight.
Kenan, they have the really good collard greens with cornbread and the butter and the stuffing. Aunt Jemima sure did throw down, didn't she, Kenan?
Yeah, that's how they sound. I love those.
And then Kenan talks in his regular voice, and it's perfect together.
and then we all go to Roscoe's Chicken and Waffles, and then they go back to their real voices, and I'm like, yes, I will have the Obama, please. They're like, Kenan, we can
you can relax now, Kenan. You can go back to your real voice. They're like, but wait, this is my real voice. Hilarious.
Kenan is like those like Spanish people. They come from like Puerto Rico, right? And they've been here for like 60 years. and they just like never lose their accent. Kenan's is that,
Word.
but like in America, because you've been away from the JWs and all that. You've been more in New York and everything. Your accent should be switching up a little bit.
But see, he's in Los Angeles. Y'all are they're kind of proper out here too. Like the only way he would pick up a rough accent is if he moved to Brooklyn or something like that.
he
Like
lived in Brooklyn.
I lived in
How long though? How
Like
long
a
were you
year.
there?
years,
Couple of years. I don't know if that's enough.
No,
but
Kenny,
to be honest, I just gave up.
Yeah.
Big-
Because they're a little proper out here. Like even Vaughn, he sounds proper to me. He's from South Central, but he doesn't sound.
I was
Yeah,
like,
he
really?
doesn't.
They got
I
some
sound
smart
like
motherfuckers
the
in South Central.
right. I sound like the hoodest one up here,
Yeah.
and I grew up in Brooklyn, so my accent is strong. But you know what? I've noticed my accent has softened since I moved out here. Like to people out here, they don't always hear it, but when I go back home, they're like, "You sound different." It's not on purpose. I guess you just adapt to your surrounding.
Man, I don't know what the hell I sound like. I know is whoever I get around, that's who I wound up talking like.
You be in 7-Eleven like everybody.
Because I'm in Connecticut, so Connecticut is like it's like two hours north of New York is like an hour and a half south of Boston. So you got that in between there. You know what I'm saying?
Boston has strong accents too. Their accent sounds
They
similar
say
to
Ka,
Brooklyn.
go to the Ka.
The Ka, yeah.
They don't pronounce their R's.
Yeah, my acting coach is from Boston, and that's how he talks.
Yep. Everything is I, fi, Ka, ba.
Adala.
New York is like New Yorker. It's like hard.
Yeah,
It's more,
everything got a W. New York.
Yeah.
Coffee.
New York. Coffee. Like me coffee. Like sometimes
I was out here, and I went to this store, and I was like, "Y'all got any water?" And they were like, "What?" I was like, "Do y'all have any water?" They were like, "No, we don't sell water." We don't know what that is. I was like, "Water," and they were like, "Oh, water."
Yeah, exactly.
They didn't know what water was.
I remember this one girl, I met her in Brooklyn. She had some soda with like some cherries, but she kept saying cherries. She's like, I want some more cherries. I said, cherries? What? She spelled cherries. I said, no. You see, what are you sitting in right now? She said, chair. And I was like, add the re's to it. And that's how you say that, motherfucker.
Cherries. How do I say it? Cherries. That's how I say it. Cherries.
Cherries. Yeah, you got the U. Put the U on it.
Yeah, cherries.
Yep. Like churros, but they ain't spelled like that.
Cherries.
For me, code switching is the total opposite. I have to code switch when I'm around my people.
That's funny, but I feel like that you can't really fake that though. Like
you
you can fake it. Like if you hood and you go to a work environment, you can kind of fake your properness. You can switch properly easly. But if you're already proper and you try to switch to hood, I feel like you can't fake that. That's a rough one.
Early in my career, my comedy career, I started doing comedy in the woods, basically in Pennsylvania, and from about 5 years in or so, it was after I went to college. I started doing shows more on the eastern side of Pennsylvania, you know, like Philadelphia, Poconos, Jersey, Brooklyn, right? So straight, it wasn't working. Like I was getting booed.
Damn.
I had a gun pulled on me twice.
What? Why? You were that bad? Like, nigga, you so horrible, you got to die.
You got to die for it.
You got to die for that shit. That was whack. Why they pull a gun on you? Was they trying to rob you?
No. When I would roast people or something, my roast would be good, but it would come out with this voice. So you're going to disrespect me or whatever they thought, right? So it was very much into, well, this isn't working. My jokes are fine as far as the material itself, but this isn't working, right? And I remember I was doing a show in Elizabeth, New Jersey, with Tina Graham, and they called me up when I didn't expect it, right? So I got on stage and I just said what I was feeling at the moment. And that was it. That was like the key that like opened up my world to urban comedy, right? Mm-hmm. And I came to,
what'd you say?
I forget exactly what I said, but I said something to the effect, I said, yeah, I know a lot of y'all thinking I'm a snitch or some shit, like it was something like that, like I'm a light skinned nigga that snitches or something like that. And I just said, I forget exactly what I said, but I just said, this is how I feel. I feel like I don't fit here, but I'm still black. I'm still like the rest of y'all. I'm just different. And that's kind of the energy that I had from there going forward. And once that was established, then I was able to do my material. And then everyone was like, oh, wait, we're all black, but we're all different. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So
I feel like the best thing to be on stage is yourself.
the best,
They want to get to know you.
Because it turns into a mockery. And unfortunately, what I think is, I think sometimes as an audience, because the audience that I did in Brooklyn, especially in Jersey, these are people that were old enough to be at the original Def Jam tapings. You understand what I'm saying? So it's like I'm on a show with Def Comedy Jam alum from the 90s, and then I get up and they're like, who the fuck is this? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it was a huge juxtaposition. But what happened is I started getting respect from those guys, because eventually the more I got on stage and I was myself, they're like, you don't have to do everything else that we do. Mm-hmm. You can literally be yourself, and you still are getting people from East New York and Brown.
That's where I'm from.
And all those places to laugh with you, because you've established that you're different, but you're the same.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And as long as I don't come across like I'm better than you,
right,
we're all in this together, then it works. You know, but what happens is you see a lot of white comics that like coach a little bit.
Yeah, when they get to the black rooms, right?
They don't get as much grief though.
Nah, because
I think black people get impressed with white people when they're able to sound like us for some reason.
And partly that, and some of that is that subliminal, subconscious. I got like the white person is God, so let me like hold them in a different esteem. That shit is trash. Because like the average white comic, I done seen it in Mocha's. I done seen it plenty of times. They're walking there, and it's like they tear the house down, and somebody else like with our color, they got to work like 10 times as hard just to get that half a reaction. You know what I mean?
It is fucked up that white comics think all they got to do is come in a black room with Jordans on and a fitted, and then they can kill off.
But
a lot of times they get away with that shit. And that shit's annoying,
it's our fault for accepting it. You know what I'm saying? The way that we do.
Like, oh, he invited to the cookout.
Yeah. They be saying dumb shit like, I'm black from the waist down, or like some shit like that. It's interesting how when white people code switch for us, it's literally the worst.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, they get everything from like an episode of Good Times. So like, right on, brother, and like they be saying all that dumb shit to us in 2020, but they don't see any consequence.
We gotta stop accepting that shit in 2021, yo.
Yeah. Like, for example, the reason that we code switch in a professional setting is because we're afraid of being fired.
Right, exactly. We're afraid of not even getting the job if we don't.
Yeah.
You know what's funny too? You ever see like when white folks, when they code switch to try to speak like us, they'll use a slang, but they sound even more white than when they talk in their regular voice. You know, it's like, hey, what the dilly is, what it do, partner? I'm like, you don't even talk like that with your regular self. So why you putting that extra white stank on some shit that needs more black? But I don't know.
You know what annoys me when they call 50 Cent 50 Cent. Fitty, that's Fitty.
Sorry,
we don't even call him Fitty.
He say 50.
50.
50. Yeah,
50.
Yeah.
We just pull out that other F. 50.
Some say 50 cents. They say the
50
whole
cents. I love 50 cents.
50 cents.
Call him.
That's what you call them, 50 cents? That nigga named 50 Cent.
50. I'm 50 cent because I'm just trying to make change. You know what I mean? Making this change. 50 cent.
50. That should get under my skin for some reason.
Well, I mean, I've noticed that when it, like I said before, I don't code switch, and I call out white people specifically who do. And that's the reason why I don't get booked on a lot of shit. Because
they're gonna be like, well, how come we can't talk like you if you get to talk like us?
He said, because that's our reparations.
Right?
We have this one thing. Can we just only be able to say whatever the hell we want when we want, which a lot of us blacks do use that, and I take advantage of it every day when I say the N-word and I say the fag. I say all kinds of stuff on stage because I'm a black Negro and my ancestors, maybe they was enslaved, I don't know, but I'm just gonna go with the narrative that I was part of that as well. But they get mad at me because of my skin color. I mean, hey, they got the billions, they got the whole world. Like, can we just have some fun?
Well, it's weird because out here in LA, I've noticed that like a lot of white comedians aren't challenged on their problematic black stuff. I've almost got into a few fights out here in LA.
You know, you don't got no hands.
Why? Somebody call you homeboy?
No. They were trying to tell a joke. They were trying to tell a joke to me that was dumb. And the thing about it is the joke that they were telling wasn't even good. You know what I mean? Like, it would have been something different if it was a good joke. But it'll be something like this one guy told the joke he said it to me. He said something. It was a joke about black people not knowing their fathers.
Oh shit! If you're gonna be racist, at least be funny.
Yeah, he was like, yeah, because a lot of black guys don't know their fathers, and that's the joke.
That was the punchline.
Punchline, and I was like, that's not funny. And he goes, oh well, I'm a comedian. Comedy's subjective.
Yo, I disagree. That shit is funny to me.
It's just so overused, though. It's like,
all right. It is.
If
you got the right setup, though, the punchline,
anything can be funny.
Got fathers is funny. Huh?
Anything can be funny if you got the right setup.
Yeah.
And any subject can be funny if you do it right. But you got to be funny. If you're going to be racist, you got to be funny.
Yeah, thanks. I agree.
And he didn't even have, like, black friends. He was trash. And I told him, and he wanted to, like, fight me because he's like, I'm telling him how to tell his jokes. However, on the other side of that, I tell hilarious jokes about white people. And
as you should.
Black friends. He needs black friends for validations to tell a joke.
No.
I'm saying because that was you don't tell no fucking white person that. Go get you some black friends so you can say all the racist shit you want.
If you're gonna say that, you gotta have some black friends, not just one.
But that
sound like you were saying to him, he didn't even have black friends. How do you know how many friends he has, Kenan?
Oh, because they tell you.
My white friend told me I was his only black friend.
That's funny. Like, hey,
you barely black.
With that, fam.
Shut up.
Hey,
look, he had to ease into it. I guess I'm his baby step.
Hey,
yeah, ease into that shit.
Somebody just roll out of
level 1.
I'm at least a level 2, nigga. Come on, I'm at least a level 2. My hair nappy.
You got the least of Monet.
My hair nappy in the back, son.
But what's funny about that is that I've tell hilarious jokes about white people, and I've been on shows with like out in the Inland Empire where I used to live. There's a lot of Hispanic comedians out there, and they would book me on shows, and before I would go up, they would literally be like, oh, don't tell any white people jokes.
What? How they gonna tell you that?
He said, get out my head. Let me do my thing.
I would tell the jokes anyway, and we'd get applause breaks, so fuck them niggas.
Wait, wouldn't it be funny if they said, don't tell any white people jokes, and you just turned around and left? Oh, damn, that was my whole set. Well, gotta go.
Show in you know what Huntington Beach like? It's a Trump supporting one of those racist ass Trump supporting towns in the OC, right? And that's
hell no.
The booker told me. The booker was like, "Yo, don't tell any white jokes," and I'm like, "In this piece of shit town,
telling all the white jokes."
And I told
every single last one of them.
So like as far as comedy is concerned, they want us to code switch, but they can tell all the black jokes that they want because.
Wait, did they sell black jokes at this show?
Probably, I wasn't paying attention, but you know how it goes. And it's because they're not getting checked.
Look, bro, anything black stories, black comedy is way more compelling than fucking Jerry Seinfeld type comedy, bro. No disrespect. I love Seinfeld. He's great and he's a pioneer and all that other shit. But nigga, you can only do so much with I lost one sock. Where does that sock go? You know what I'm saying?
Observational
Type
humor.
of comedy.
That's all.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That type
And even
of observation.
black observational humor is gonna be different. You're gonna observe it a different way.
Exactly. You
Hey,
need
what you guys
black.
talking about? Don't.
You need black people have a lot of adversity, so the stories are way more compelling than some motherfucker losing a sock, and he's white and he's Jewish, but he's white adjacent and aesthetic. Him losing a sock in his home washing machine is different from a black person losing a sock and
At the laundromat.
and he got to lift up his sister that's sleeping on the floor in order to look for the sock. That type of shit.
Well, do you think that code switching is a result of white fragility?
Yes, of course. Because the majority of the time you're code switching in a certain situation is to make them more comfortable with your blackness, because you want to be deemed as the safe Negro around them. You don't want to look threatening or something like that. I feel like that's the foundation of it.
Well, it's what the interesting thing about you say black people looking threatening. In my personal experience, a lot of white people, some white people find me threatening, but for a different reason. Because I sound smart and I talk the way that I do, and I also am smart.
Your blackness is always going to be threatening, but the way you speak kind of softens it up. Like, your blackness is threatening to their intellect and not their physical being.
She said you like a wimp.
Hey,
Nah, I ain't saying. No, I'm just saying, like, they don't think you're gonna beat them up, but they might think you could possibly take their job. You know what I'm saying?
A wimp can't do.
Hey, Kenan, do you is there any part of you that thinks maybe somewhat it's all in your head when you say, oh, they're afraid of me, how smart I am. I'm smarter than them. They know I'm smarter than them. These different things. Do you think that you may somewhat be like assuming this? Because I know they don't have the balls to tell you this.
The difference. Okay, so the difference is, I'm kind of an asshole, Vaughn. I make it known in the way that I carry myself, in the way that I speak, in the way that in the things that I say, that I think that I'm better than them. You understand what I'm saying? So basically what has come from it is, what has happened in my case is that a white person will plead with me to show them respect. And I will look at them in their face and let them know that I've ignored what they've said. And then that's where they express how they feel, which usually involves a lot of yelling, a lot of doxing, a lot of shit.
White people be yelling at you?
Yeah.
That's when it's time to code switch. Put your black on.
Like, white people literally be like, oh, Kenan, I know you don't like white people, and like all that. What? And I'm just like, okay, and then I'll just turn around and leave. You know. What
the hell? What kind of white people you be around?
So in a sense, Kenan, when you speak to people, you're very patronizing, and it has nothing really to do with black or white. You're just very patronizing to them, and then they get upset with you and think they can take you, so they come at you and yell at you and say all kinds of wild shit to you.
Yeah, like I said, I'm an asshole.
Can you code switch to not be an asshole? That's the question.
A lot of time it's not necessarily, well, there's two factors to it. A lot of times the asshole comes out after a series of things. Because what happens is, like, especially out here in California, is that there's a lot of there's a lot of white people out here that feel that they're allies to black people, but they're problematic, right?
Yes.
For example, white people that are in interracial relationships, right? Sometimes what they don't realize is that they're dating a self-hating black person.
Facts.
So they don't
That is a fact.
they don't understand the nuance. So what happens is you'll talk to that black person, and that black person be like, "Oh, I hate black women. I hate black culture. I hate blah 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 blah. I hate this, and that's the reason I like white women." Right? So you'll have that white person say, "Well, I'm not racist because I hang out or I date black people," but that black person is like Candace Owens.
Right.
You know what I mean? So what ends up happening is they might specifically go out with a black person that sounds like me, but that black person has the Candace Owens syndrome, right? So they come to me with fucked up energy because they're like, "Oh, you're like all the other black guys I fuck."
You tricked them.
Or you're like all the other black guys that are my friends or whatever, right? But when I come across by saying I have respect for myself, I have respect for my culture, I have respect for the people that are in my culture, and also I'm not going to fall for whatever this is, because a lot of their energy is also racially, a lot of their conversation and words and energy is also racially charged. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So when it comes to me, and they're used to hanging out with black people like me, but then they find out that I'm not interested in hanging out with them, they take it personally. Because they feel that I'm one of the good ones. I'm one of the ones that's going to hang out with them and be down for whatever bullshit that they do. You know what I mean? So they end up getting angrier with me than they would with you, Vaughn, or with Brooklyn, or with Mo, because they expect me to be different. They expect me to be more.
Is it because?
Go ahead.
And that's sad. I feel I understand what you're saying, Kenan, because I do see the media. They promote. The media promotes guys of your guys that are similar to you in stature and just in aesthetic, like very like small or skinny or built like cool, built like Jamar Carmichael or Josh Johnson, with your same like the way that you articulate things and the way that you view things. They tend to gravitate towards you guys because they feel like you guys are safe. And they then after that they tend to also have the balls to try you, versus a person like me who has all the same intellect as a person like you, Kenan, but I have a different build and I have a different stature. So it's like, yo, take it easy.
And you're more brown.
Yeah. I do hold the
Got a little more
genealogy.
melanin.
They said you light skinned.
I got the warrior energy.
We did not say that.
I'm 37 years old. I don't give a fuck.
But it's not even being light skinned. It's not even about being light skinned and soft, because you got people, Josh Johnson and Gerard Carmichael, they're both not light skinned. They're just very skinny and frail and tend to be more soft spoken towards white people. You know what I'm talking about, Brooklyn?
I do.
I think what you're saying about the media, I think is true, because like I just have you guys seen the show Woke on Hulu?
No.
Of course. That's
One
what I was
episode.
talking about.
I never seen that.
Woke is a terrible show, bro. It's not woke at all. The guy is an instrument of white supremacy.
So basically,
like Lamar, I can't believe Lamar even took that role, because that whole thing is them battling within themselves to try to figure shit out, but they always end up wrong.
well,
Like he ends up in a tragic situation.
for people that might not know what Woke is. Woke is a TV show on Hulu that's basically about the main character is kind of like me, But at the beginning, he's unaware of how much his blackness affects his life, right? So he ends up getting messed up by the San Francisco Police Department, and then that's when he starts going crazy and realizing that he's really black. That's basically what the basis of the show is. And what I find interesting is that I watched the whole season. And what I found interesting is at the beginning, he has a black girlfriend who's a professional, right? But he's like, oh, she's not going to understand what I went through. So they end up breaking up. And then at the end, he ends up getting with a white girl. And he's like, this is someone that really understands who I am. That's basically what they say in the series. This white woman is the one. Go ahead.
The show, I watched the whole season too. And I had a real big problem with that because the black woman was the one that kept saving him in the end, and he had to pursue the white bitch. That's why I was like, what? You have to pursue this woman who don't understand you and is telling you to do fuck shit. Like she told him to start that business where it was like rent a black person. And even though she said it in a jokingly manner, she was congratsing him and supporting him as he sold shirts that said rent a black person.
Yeah.
So it's like, the only black woman that they had as a guest star and a part of the supporting cast, she's a lesbian that's attracted to Asian women, not black women. So it's like, whoa, what the fuck is going on here? Are you trying to say the only way for a black person to be woke is for them to allow themselves to be sexually or be attracted to things outside of black culture? And that's not even true. A black person that's woke is a person that's aware of things that are happening outside of black culture, respects things that are happening outside of black culture, but still has a self-love for themselves. These motherfuckers had no self-love, no self-respect, and they were weird. They were all like losers in our community.
And that's
Lamorne, he was, huh?
That's what I was talking about. What the examples that I was giving before is that a lot of these white people that want to assimilate, like in my stance, in my case, they are used to hanging around black people that don't have self-love. And this is the thing where I say we need to let this code switching thing go, because you can code switch as much as you want, and there's certain people that are never going to care. They're never going to change. So the question is, how come we're the ones that have to always change when they're never going to change?
Well, the reason why that we always have to change, bro, is because we don't have any power over any infrastructure. We only bring the arts and entertainment that is publicized. And when we do have a footing in any other type of demographic or any type of other business beyond arts, entertainment, we let it go based off of financial gain. Like I saw a black person create a company, go on Shark Tank, sell a whole company, and become an employee. That's the type of shit we do. Nigga sold his whole company and then became an employee for 2 years. And then he gets he gets $2 off of everything that's sold. But now the company is owned by a white man. And
that's crazy.
Just a shareholder.
Yeah.
So that's the type of shit we do. So since we do that all the time, we won't ever have any type of power over infrastructure. We don't have any type of CEO power. And the CEOs we do have, they're so caught up in the sauce that they're just caught up, bro. They're no help to us. Like I seen the guy who bought out. What did he do? He paid off the billionaire that paid off everybody's student loans for the black colleges. He's under scrutiny because he has a white woman. But I mean, you got to remember, he played the game, so he's older. So he had, in order for him to be a billionaire now, he had to be in the game like in the 80s and the early 90s. So if he was in the game in the 80s and the 90s, and he's a billionaire now, that means he had to assimilate and do certain things in order to be accepted amongst his peers. which, in closing, he needed a white woman. Now, he may not stay with the same white women, but he's bringing young white women around to showcase that he's safe as an individual, which is fucked up. But that's the games that they play, and that's what end up fucking up niggas, because everybody knows the black community don't respect, and you can't speak on the black community if you're not married to a black person. Nobody respects that individual. Only reason Martin Luther King and Malcolm X were so potent is because they have black women on their side. Nobody respects a motherfucker who come in here and they got a white woman trying to tell black men and black women what they need to do.
But I think that people know that. That's the reason when you have shows like Woke and whatever other show is on, that's why they always end up with white people at the end of the day. If you've noticed most commercials, most television shows now are interracial, because that's how we as black people are supposed to show that we're woke.
No, I feel like Kenan, they're trying to promote that in order to make the up and coming black people more acceptable to the idea of leadership and to fellowship with an individual that does not want to be with a black woman or a black man. Because you see, we're in a state now where it's actually working, because now everybody's promoting the idea of Kamala, but Kamala's married to a white man, and she's famous for putting a lot of black men in jail. She's low-key problematic, and she's light-skinned. So she carries none of the things needed in order to be looked at as a black leader, but she's looked at as a black leader.
I said she not FBA neither.
Facts.
Foundational Black American. Nope. No.
She's not none of that. So since she's not none of that, now we're conditioned through media, and that's the main ingredient of media. That's why you see motherfuckers like Cardi B, who's not selling albums, but she's still making a lot of money and getting a lot of deals, and it's because they need people like that to be in place in order to promote fucked upness within our community. The lack of having the ability to even code switch and wanting the ability to code switch. Code switching is actually a tactic that showcases intelligence, because
and it's a skill that not everyone has.
Showcases that you're aware of the environment you're in and you're playing the game in order to get ahead. You're doing what you need to do that's necessary. It's the same process of a chameleon changing the skin whenever it gets in an environment to avoid a predator. You know what I'm saying? So code switching is actually good. It shows awareness. It shows intelligence. It shows, oh, I understand these motherfuckers is weird, and this is what they need from me in order to feel safe, in order for me to advance. You know what I mean? So that's what that is. And then on top of that, you know what I'm saying? You got people that are put in place that are promoting that. Yeah, be real, all that shit. But these motherfuckers is ignorant. You look at a person like Lil Baby, he can't even put the sentence together when he's in an interview. You know what I'm saying? So why the fuck would anybody tell anybody to get rid of code switching? Code switching is great because it lets motherfuckers like me, who are somebody who looks like me and don't have the ability to speak or articulate themselves like me, it allows them to learn different things and to really see the world for what it is.
You better speak, Von Roberts. That was Von Roberts, y'all. He said that. That's a smart man right there.
Because not everybody's gonna be blessed like you, Kenan. Not everybody's gonna be like, oh, this guy he's not threatening. Let's give him the world. Let's give him all his education. Let's hear what he got to say. Well, and niggas are big like me and look aggressive like me, have the hair, have the muscles, all the shit, and that's just a natural thing, but don't necessarily want to play sports no more. So now we're in college, we're trying to get in that corporate world, and we have to code switch. Well, I have to go in there and speak.
I think as black people, I think we definitely need to accept each other for who we are.
So your focus in this whole conversation is the idea of code switching amongst black people generally. That's your main focus, right?
Well, the main focus is, well, it's code switching in general, And we emphasize the point of we really only think about code switching when it comes to white people, when it comes to us in white environments. But we also code switch amongst each other as well.
Oh yeah.
I think that, Bon, you and I had spoke about this before. I think accepting each other for who we are as well, I think could also be to our benefit too.
Of course. But the thing about it, when you do that, right? There's a lack of understanding and acceptance on both sides. Because you'll have a person who is looked at as different in the black community, like a Willow or a Jaden Smith, and they'll disrespect the nigga like me who everybody's claiming, oh, this person's real.
See?
I think he got abducted by aliens, man.
Or maybe the government said nope.
It happens that fast, man. You just talking, and all of a sudden your body's split in half, and you watching it.
Wait, what was that?
Alien abduction, man.
Oh.
Men in Black.
Well, we're gonna have to wrap this episode soon anyway.
Yeah.
So that was the wrong time for him to go into a tunnel or whatever. But basically, what I was saying was, like what Vaughn said, there's an understanding that we need from both sides. But I think at the end of the day, accepting each other for the things that we can contribute to the community, I think would help out. Like, for example, this is an unpopular thing to say, but a lot of black Republicans, we could kind of use them right now to help us. You know what I mean? They kind of have abandoned us a little bit. You know what I'm saying?
You said the Republicans have abandoned black people?
Black Republicans.
Oh, okay.
Black Republicans. Like the Candace Owens, they just left us. You know what I mean? They don't give a fuck about it.
Yo, she hate being black.
Fuck Candace Owens. That bitch is raggedy.
She said, oh my God, and it was fentanyl. That's the reason why he died. It was not the neck in his neck. Because I watched a karate instruction video, and it said if you put the knee on the back of the neck, he will not suffocate. It was from fentanyl. My husband's white. His cock is small, but his bank account's big. My name's Candace Owens. I'm out.
In a nutshell.
Her husband looks like a Proud Boy, so
he does.
Okay. All right, so we're gonna.
He looks like one of the Proud Boys that they overtook the hashtag with.
Hey, Brooklyn Jones, you remind me like Alicia Keys mixed with Lady of Rage.
I get that.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The prettiness of Alicia Keys, but you kind of like tough. Like,
Thank you.
I brought rough and stuff with my Afro puffs.
That
hey!
Yep.
Kenny's like, Kenny's like, what
you
are
got
you
me
guys
pegged.
like? What are you guys like doing? Like, I've never heard of that song before.
I'm tall like her too. I'm tall and kind of rough like her too. So
yeah,
yeah.
you kind of hard.
Yeah.
You a little hard,
Yeah.
little Queen Latifah swag.
Yep. That's facts.
Well, I've heard of stuff.
What'd you say?
I said I've heard of stuff.
You heard of that? Have you ever heard of Afro Puffs by Lady of Rage?
Yes. Lady of Rage was she was the girl on the Steve Harvey show that was all tough and shit.
Yeah.
She was.
She was the first signed female rapper on Death Row Records, if I'm not mistaken.
Those are the kind of acting roles I try to go for too.
Yeah, I could definitely see that. You could be like in the next. They ever make it like a next. What was it? Friday, Part 4, and you could be her.
Her
cousin?
sister. Exactly, her cousin. You're right.
I was trying to. You see, we're trying to guess your age. You could be her niece.
It's hard to guess my age. You know that black don't crack.
You around my age. You around where I'm at. You're younger though. You're not over 40. No way in hell.
I'm not telling my age. I'm gonna let you guess.
Thanks a lot. I really appreciate the way you acting. You acting like, you know what I'm saying, like Roxanne or some Shantae from New York. That was like 1986. So you would have to be about 15 by then, 71. You about 49.
Damn. Okay. I'll be 49 today. Shit, whatever. If I'm 49, I look good as fuck for 49. I'll take it.
I'll write you something.
See, you seen the Cole Murphy or Eddie Murphy, whatever her.
Maybe you'll be a gangsta CEO or something. I don't know. Something.
I ain't mad at that.
You definitely did.
Got to be something little hood though.
You could be Snoop older sister from The Wire. Snoop.
Well, Snoop. I thought you meant Snoop Dogg. I was like, God damn,
No, you ain't.
Snoop Dogg?
No.
Yeah, Snoop from The Wire. Yeah, I feel you on that.
But she within our age range too, though. She like 35, 36.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Within that range.
Brooklyn, what are you working on? Where can they find you?
What am I working on? Right now, I'm working on my show called The Rise of Brooklyn Jones. Doing stand-up whenever, wherever I can. You know, we're in a pandemic, but everybody can follow me on Instagram at It's Brooklyn Jones. That's where I live these days. It's Brooklyn Jones. Or my website, itsbrooklynjones.com.
Cool.
All right, cool. Well, thank you for joining us, Vaughn.
Thanks for having me.
We will catch you later.
Nice meeting you, BJ. Brooklyn. Did they call you that? I'm saying Brooklyn Joe BJ.
They just call me B or BK. A lot of people call me BK.
Yo, it's like, and as soon as I said it, I was like, I messed up.
Like,
I shouldn't have said that.
Yeah, it's all good.
It's me too. You know what I'm saying? Like, I ain't trying to be like, I ain't trying to be a partner of allegations. Like, Mo's being mad nasty on the.
Nah, I feel you. But yeah, people usually call me B or BK. But yeah, I'm gonna follow you on Instagram. Yeah. Follow me so I can follow you.
Yeah, back. Definitely. I think I'm probably following you though.
Probably.
Yep.
All right.
All right, then.
All right. Good night, y'all.
Yep, you have a good night.
Be safe. Bye.
Yep.
Mo just up here being disrespectful in front of my guest.
How?
Disrespecting my blackness.
How? What I did?
Go back and watch the episode.
Yeah, man. I freaking I had a brownie edible. That just got me like going.
It's always something. It's always something with you.
Did I seem weird this episode?
You look mad Asian right now.
Well, my eyes always look Asian. That's how they look.
Andre Kim, you look like. This is what Andre Kim is gonna look like.
When he gets fat and he turns 40, he's gonna look like me. I probably do got. I try to make my eyes big. See, I can make them big. See, is that better?
I got skinny eyes too.
Brooklyn Jones is funny, man. She's cool.
Yes. Yeah,
man. That was good stuff, man.
I'm always.
How do you know Vaughn? I didn't even get no backstory or nothing, man. You didn't even say nothing.
I know Vaughn from we did a comedy show the other day.
Oh.
So, but let's go ahead and wrap this episode up. Say your piece.
All right, man. If you want to catch me on Instagram, it's at comedian Mo Green. Same thing as my Facebook page, comedian Mo Green. And as far as coming up, this December 18th and 19th, I'll be closing out the show at the Stand Up Underground Elbow Room, West Hartford, Connecticut. If you happen to see this video, if this drops in time, which I doubt it will, but if it drops before Friday and you see this, go to my show. And if not, whatever, man. I'm just talking. I'm just babbling. What about you, Kenan?
Nothing. But you can check me out on TikTok. It's Kenan J. Floyd, Kenan Floyd as in pink. You can also follow the
Light Skin Perspective IG
Instagram at LSPcast, and then like and subscribe and share this video.
Yes, sir.
So thanks for watching, guys. Peace.
Y'all be safe.
How can I show you that I wanna hold you to the end of the world I would go to just to reach you, cause you're worth it. All my love you deserve. Babe, let's make a date. Be at your doorstep 8:30. Wear the dress that caress your waist. Matching necklace, it has me breathless. City steam for some comedy. Spin to the rust for some poetry. Hip tie stain for the martinis. There's so much to do, my boo and the beat. Black guy style, we can buy the jazz. Drinks on me, don't bring no cash. You don't have to ask, you deserve. It's all for you. You are worth how much worth? Let me describe your diamond raindrops from the sky in my